I don't like getting a cold because now I rely on a breathing machine.
All right. The CPAP is fighting against your snot pap.
I mean, when people say they've had a rough life, they don't know what I've been through with the CPAP machine and the colds.
It's true.
You know?
But they'll hear about it tonight on Thought Spiral.
Tonight on Thought Spiral.
So suffice it to say, well, maybe not, but we aren't in Louisiana.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a stop on the movie.
Yes.
But
after you edited around any plot twists?
Yeah, I did take out any of our doubts.
Yeah, well, yeah, so
week.
It just was, this is great, this is great, this is great. Well, I guess I'm leaving tomorrow. Well, here's the thing. I believe in C.J.
Why
Wallace.
would you want to dump a bunch of doubts on a director before you go do his movie?
Right. I love C.J. Wallace. And I sent him a very, very, very nice text. I sound like I'm trying to do an impression of an asshole.
I did too, and he said we were very nice.
Yeah, and that's because the truth was, we both compared notes. Neither one of us doesn't like to know if we're going to leave in the morning. Right. You know, I'm just like, yeah. And then I always root for it not to happen as the night goes on because I'm not ready.
Right.
And if I had this cold, can you imagine Barry Bitterman with a cold?
Yes, actually.
Watching Andy Kindler as Barry Bitterman.
I think you could play that as Barry Bitterman.
I got a cold. Good?
No.
Now, I'm assuming this movie, Fiddling Horse, you assumed I'd spend the rest of the weekend familiarizing myself with all the lines.
No, I didn't. I really thought you'd do it on the plane to Louisiana.
But something tells me I need to maybe start earlier. But there's
a lot there.
There's a lot there.
Yeah. And I get the sense he's not like, hey, let's do 40 takes. On the schedule of his.
Oh no, but he does have alternate. If we want to do an alternate take, like if I say, "Hey, what's your character's name?"
Hey, can we do this 6 lines shorter? You'll say.
What is your character? I always forgot your character because I don't think I knew. Who
you don't know. It doesn't matter.
Is it Eddie?
Sure, it's Eddie. No, it's not Eddie.
It's not Bugman.
There's part I do. I'm going to put a little Bugman in it.
Why do I have Bugman in my brain? That's a character in this script, which I enjoyed very much. I was so happy that I got to read the script because I had read parts of it before.
I still haven't read the whole thing, but I've read my part.
It's great. He caught my voice, and I think what's been missing from show business? Movie starring me.
I think there's definitely an Andy-shaped void in the cinema.
Imagine my face. How many times is it bigger than my actual body? 20 times bigger on the screen?
Your body is 20 times bigger. Your head is 18 times bigger.
I just have an algorithm. 18 times bigger?
Your body's 20 times bigger.
Right.
Your head is 18 times bigger.
I forgot that because of pi, right?
Because of what?
Pi. 3.14.
Yeah, right.
So, the thing that was weird about this weekend, as you can see, I wrote down some notes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I wrote a couple down.
Well, you would.
You son of a bitch.
How's my voice sound, though? It's okay, right?
It sounds like you have a cold, but not like it's not like a cold, like a NyQuil commercial.
Oh God, those are so great.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight with this cold.
Yeah, you certainly either have a cold or you're acting like you have a cold. But you know what's worse than that is I'm just going to say it because you won't say it.
Yeah.
Upset stomach, diarrhea, dang, dang, dang. They've made these series of commercials that are, I shouldn't remind people of them how bad they are, but they're like for a drug that deals with it all.
Yeah.
Upset stomach, diarrhea.
The lower intestinal cha-cha.
And I have to say to myself,
I saw, before you just came over, I saw it go to commercial on the Brian Williams thing, and it said, the 11th hour is brought to you by Lilly Diabetes. Which sounds like a Mel Brooks character.
I suspected that Lilly was planting diabetes in the food system. It is a cliche to say that there's only commercials about drugs on TV. If there wasn't for drug commercials...
Well, that's only true if you watch news all day. Like, on other things, they'll like try to sell you cars. And,
oh, really? So it's
fast
more
food.
It's cable news?
It's cable news where it's like, you're old, you're a shut-in. Here's what you need is medicine.
I know that one thing, if you have contracted it because you have a certain thing, you shouldn't take this. And you shouldn't take it if you're allergic to anything in it. That's my favorite line. Right. Don't take Schmeckel if Schmeckel makes you sick.
Right. Don't take Schmeckel if you're allergic to Schmeckel.
AFib. AFib.
Yeah.
And it's not caused by AFib. And they expect people to know that? No, they're hoping you'll forget it.
Well, I also like the tell your doctor if.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a list of things that only your doctor could tell you.
Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder about some of these drugs that we're taking. But I'm not one of these people.
If only it was someone had done a bit or two on this topic in the world.
I don't see it at all as well-trod ground. I see it as brand new, virgin. Okay, do you want me to do my material about if my election lasts longer than 4 hours? If you're did I say election? Well, we've reached the first lull. What's the official time lapse?
Hard to say.
It is hard to say.
I didn't notice
because a lot of people don't think we start when we started.
We never know, and I certainly don't know till I start editing when we started.
Well, all I know is that when I leave this house,
there's a lot of relief.
I say, was it a job well done? I don't know. All I know is I'm going home to eat cookies, and Josh has Pro Tools out in the garage with a thing, and another funny reference, and Norton antivirus software running in the background.
Well played, sir.
Well played. Those, you could never use well played ever again, right? It has, even as a sarcastic.
I use it like that. I use it like that.
Right, as a
sarcastic. And I will keep using it like that.
You will?
Yeah, it's sarcastic.
My bad. My bad. Did you ever use my bad for real?
I don't think I did.
It's terrible.
I don't think I ever adopted my bad.
My bad. What are you saying? If you did something wrong, do you really think I need to hear a short version?
I tend to go more with sorry.
I crashed your car.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, well, I think I've Edwin Newman that topic up.
My day peaked first thing this morning when I watched a squirrel drag a full-size towel across my yard and halfway up a tree.
Now, what do you think?
It never got better than that today.
Now, what was the squirrels? I mean, because we know squirrels. I'm not saying they're stupid, but try talking to them.
It's like, this is the easiest nest I've ever found, is what I'm thinking.
But it's, first of all, it's very obvious that you're in a colorful nest.
Yeah, well, I don't think they have a big picture thinking down. I thought that was pretty advanced squirreling, however.
No, I don't think just getting yourself entangled in a towel and running around.
No, it was a deliberate drag. It was dragging it backwards across the yard. And, wow. And I went and tried to get my phone, and I disrupted him, and he ran off.
Oh, you didn't get any good photos?
And so I went, all right. The squirrel scattered off, and I went and grabbed the towel, and then I went, wait a second. I want to see where he's going with this. So I left the towel there.
Oh, you mean you're not reusing the towel, are you?
No, not
Susan would not allow that.
Now it's part of the experiment.
Oh, Susan, you mean the towel that the rabid, possibly rabid squirrel?
Yeah, no, it's a ratty towel that was in the yard. It was like on a chair or something.
But for that squirrel, this was the greatest moment.
It was really a great moment for me too, and so he came back for it.
Oh.
And then he started dragging it again and dragging it up the tree. And I didn't want to bust him with the camera because it was like Schrodinger's squirrel. It couldn't be observed in that way. So
it would be like wetting a squirrel?
It was like Schrodinger's squirrel. Is what
Schrodinger, it's not in the box. See, only a physics person like me who knows complicated physics would
You make me say jokes twice way too much.
What do I do? Okay, so if you were still on the America's Funniest thing, would you make someone else send
that would have been a $10,000 squirrel for sure.
And $10,000 means you write how many jokes about
it. And if Saget would have been hosting it, going, hey, I'm taking this up to the beach with me. Hey, watch me. Hey.
Did he like to do impressions of the various woodland creatures?
He would narrate that way. That was the most go-to voiceover for him.
Did you watch?
In fact, to the point where I used to do the bit to mock him, essentially. when I was head writer, called Falsetto Animal Theater.
And he has a
back in that day he iced me at a thing once where I met him at while it was happening.
Oh,
because I'm sure he was watching what the show was after he left.
Oh, this was after his tenure.
Yes.
Who took over? Oh, the other guy.
Me.
No, but who took over?
John Fugelsang and Daisy Fuentes were the hosts for 2 years.
Wait a second. Why am I confusing it with the Hollywood Squares guy?
He eventually became that guy.
Oh my God! And Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
How can you keep it all? How can you keep all of those horrible shows in line? I was joking about America's Funniest Videos. I told you that I love the show, and and don't you love it when people think that they have to compliment a show that isn't very good?
You're podcasting from America's Funniest Home Videos right now, my friend. That chair you're sitting on is America's Funniest Home Videos.
Was it because it was bought because of you put food in the mouths of
That's right.
That squirrel can drag a blanket up a tree.
He's dragging, as far as I'm concerned, he's dragging that towel across Vinda Bona's yard.
I think names like Vinda Bona, they almost can't be true.
Yeah, I know. It's too good to be.
Hey, Vinda Bona.
He's a delightful character.
I don't know him, and I'm scared of anybody who has a mafia vibe.
He couldn't be less mafioso.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then he should change his name to Vic.
He's a Providence, Rhode Island dandy.
Oh.
Yes.
Does he know you refer to him that way?
I don't think he would mind that. He would prefer it to any mafia references, I'm sure.
Well, I'm listening to Crime Town.
Vinny the Bone, we used to call him.
I'm working on this all day. You ready?
I don't know what to think.
You do know what to think, but you can't. You see, you told me before we do the podcast, and this would be nothing but yes ending each other. It's been nothing but
no.
When is it wrapping up? I'm telling you, we have created something that is either the greatest advancement in podcast history, or a premise that has been blown out.
I think that's black and white thinking.
Oh, interesting. That's me pretending to listen. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so we didn't go away, but I really loved not going away. When I knew I wasn't going away, I felt like I was.
Well, isn't that true in life in general? That not having to go is always better. The canceled plans where it's not your fault.
It's true in a way.
It always feels a little bit good when someone cancels plans.
Yeah, but I will tend to be a hermitage.
Yeah.
And then I do get kind of depressed by not going out at all. In a way.
No, I get it.
Or I have a fear of missing out for sure.
Yeah.
So if it's a party.
I've kind of lost my FOMO.
Yeah. I'm losing
I haven't lost it entirely. I'll still see the occasional, I should be in that, moment.
Yeah.
But,
is that the way you...
That's my characterization of me in my head.
How come he has that? Yeah, but it's all natural. It's like people who know that they're capable of envy and jealousy are not the people to worry about. It's the people who...
think they're beyond it.
Yeah, could you imagine a day?
I had someone the other day, and I wish I remembered his name, but I don't. He wrote, or I think it was yesterday, he wrote on Twitter, whenever I worry about people liking me, I just think about J. Elvis Weinstein and the feeling recedes. And then he hashtagged it, what would you do?
Oh, say it again, because I got lost.
Whenever I worry about people liking me,
oh, you think?
What would you do? I think about J. Elvis Weinstein and the feeling recedes. And I wrote to him, is this a comment on how I'm unlikable? Or is it a comment on me seeming secure? And he's like, oh, it's about you seeming secure. I heard you on Marin. And Marin said, yeah, he's not even trying to make me like him.
Wow.
That whole thing. And he said, that was cool. And I wrote, yeah, I liked the way that made me sound too, but the fact that I thought about it in those terms shows you how needy I am.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you're the neediest person in the world, but the constant petting on my knee, I'm sorry. I don't know why. Why go sexual with it?
Why is that funny?
Why? It's not funny. I'm not funny. At least I don't later go, why didn't you go down that road with me?
Why didn't you yes and?
When you had your story, I had a perfect take on it.
Right. I dismissed it with a homophobic pun.
That was very much what the 80s were on the talk shows. were filled
yes,
with...
they were.
Hello?
Come on, people. Places.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I got into a big thing the other day because on the other podcast, about how they were talking about things that you couldn't do now. I think it was in Robin Williams. I was like, there's a lot of Robin Williams stuff that wouldn't play now. His gay character, Leroy the black guy, that just doesn't go anymore.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't fit the present day.
Did you see that Aretha Franklin is in hospice?
No.
HOSPICE.
I can't even. Why are you doing cruel jokes? HOSPICE.
Why are you?
Find out what she means to me.
Why are you elaborating?
Because she would love the joke. That's how I would. I don't like that. But you know what? Aretha Franklin, Hey 19, that's Aretha Franklin.
She don't remember Queen of Soul.
She don't remember Queen of Soul.
And that was like in 1972 or
yeah.
whatever that she didn't remember Queen of Soul. How young was
No.
19 is a little, even at that point, 19 was a little young to not know who Aretha Franklin was.
In 72, I would see how those were when the kids started turning on the classics.
Remember Aretha 4 years ago?
That's true. But, you never really can... You can't put your money in Steely Dan lyrics, even though I love a lot of them.
That's true. California tumbles into the sea. That'll be the day I take a Steely Dan lyric literally.
Oh, what is that from?
My old school. California tumbles into the sea. That'll be the day I go back to Annandale.
What album is that off of? Pretzel Logic?
I don't know.
Is it Steely Dan? Is
You've
it Pretzel
never
Logic?
heard?
I thought it doesn't ring a bell to me.
Oh, no. William and Mary won't do.
Oh, yeah, that does. The William and Mary does. Also, if you said something like, Ricky, don't lose the number.
That would make you think it was my old school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to watch a couple of shows. I wanted to tell you about a couple of shows that I watched that I couldn't believe. As you know, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
The TV show Seinfeld.
Right.
The first pilot episode is almost unwatchable.
It's not so good, yeah.
Do you remember it? It's got about 40 minutes
the
of
Seinfeld
stand-up.
Chronicles, yeah. It was all, because that was the premise then was, they retrofitted it to be, it's all about nothing. But really it was like, how do stand-up bits get made was kind of the premise.
Yeah, and he did the socks, and the sock is sitting next to the other one. They're both doing a Watusi.
Yeah.
And it was so, and then I forgot what the plot was, but it just, they start out, and they're not in the regular coffee shop, which I did enjoy.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, I'm not name dropping, I've just known this person. Lee Garlington was on the show.
Yeah.
And she was the waitress. So, I knew, at least I knew from the last, that you wanted to short circuit.
That's the auxiliary noise.
And then here's, okay, I've been trying to be less opinionated. Not really. But I try online. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I was just surprised that, I never knew there was an episode that week. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with it.
No, every show takes a while to figure itself out. And that whole 6 episodes of Seinfeld Chronicles was all kind of like that.
Yes. The Seinfeld Chronicles.
And that's when Rick Ludwin stepped in and saved the series. And his job for the next 20 years.
Well, he also chose Leno over.
That didn't hurt his standing.
Did you deal with him?
No. Yeah, I did.
Did you know that I have a falling out with him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I think he tried to
never discussed you at the time.
He tried to keep me off of Conan, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he was just doing his job.
The Banality of Evil, starring J. Elvis Weinstein. Can you get a little sympathy for him? Nah, he probably was
protecting
right.
the show.
He's protecting the show. Leno's friendly. Man. I tried to watch this show, and I wanted to like it. And I literally could not make it through the end of the show. And it's the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And everybody was either lying to me or pranking me. There's not one person I asked who didn't say, that's a great show.
No, I know. I haven't watched it because I had the exact feeling that would happen to me. It's the kind of raving where I go, I'm going to fucking hate this. And then I'm going to hate everybody who likes it.
I don't even know what is going on. I have no idea what's happening in the show. And then...
How deep did you go? Just one episode?
I watched all one episode, and I watched a little bit of the second episode because I was fascinated that Lenny Bruce has now become a character that he plays on an old sitcom. Yeah. He comes in, hey, Lenny Bruce, do you still like doing it?
Fuck.
And the guy looks like an actor who was booked to play Lenny Bruce, and then they see Lenny Bruce in the club. I mean, the thing was just crazy.
Yeah.
He steals Bob Newhart's bit, her husband.
Yeah.
He's not funny at all. She doesn't seem funny to me either. Neither of them should be near comedy.
Yeah.
And they have the typical thing where she goes back to the club drunk the first night. She's not even performing, has never performed.
Right.
But her husband, so she's wandering around the stage. It's literally Sally Fields 2 from Punchline.
Punchline, yeah. Well, that's what I had a feeling, and that's why I haven't watched it yet.
I watched another show. Well, I feel bad about saying that because I was open to it. Why should I feel bad? Because I don't want to be perceived as a man who doesn't like women shows, which is really the best way to watch something.
What did you watch? What's the next one?
I kind of like this one. It's Goliath.
Haven't seen that.
It's with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
And he's good at Billy Bob Thornton.
He's a good actor.
And eventually, I really would like to play a private eye if I didn't know that I wouldn't be convincing as it.
Yeah, it would have to be a very sticky private eye thing.
Well, Angel.
And that's not what you want to play.
That's not what I want to play. Angel was good on
But he wasn't a private eye. He was just a pain in the ass to a private eye.
Oh, Angel.
That you could do.
I guess I could be the wacky
You could be
neighbor.
Stuart Margolin.
Yes, that's true.
That I could see.
But I thought by now you would have written Sherman Oaks. Sherman Oaks P.I. Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
Sherman Oaks.
Say it 6 more times.
Sherman Oaks, can I help you? What do you mean, Sherman Oaks? That's the way you answer the phone? You've reached the office of Sherman Oaks. Speaking. Is Mr. Sherman Oaks there? He's at a very important meeting. Is Mr. Sherman Oaks there? He's home with the flu. Is Mr. Sherman Oaks there? He's having his kidney removed.
He's off getting a Peabody Award.
Speaking. Oh, did you just do a Peabody Award joke?
Yes.
The Professor or something?
What?
What was it? What was the we used to watch?
Sherman and Peabody.
Yeah, I have no memory of it at all.
You have no memory of much.
Wow.
That's all you got.
What if I was losing it? How would you feel then?
I would feel justified in my
and you still laugh. You still laugh. Oh, it's hilarious. You know what was hilarious? When he couldn't remember what his keys were for. That was the greatest day. I'm so evil. I think it's because I'm sick. What do I expect from life?
I don't know.
I don't want to be sick, and then it's not important that I'm sick. So if I can't enjoy myself now...
How often do you mention that you're sick at home in an hour?
Oh, I'm terrible. I mean, that's like I'm the worst person who's like, do you think I'm getting better? Should I lie down?
Do you feel my forehead? Do I feel hot? Do you do that?
I did, but that was when I was rubbing my penis.
What?
Oh, you don't respect my blue direction? So this weekend I did some fun things though. I saw a couple of TV shows like that Goliath and
yeah,
because I can't watch much of the real news. I watch a Dateline to unwind.
Yeah, get a little murder in you.
I love the Datelines, especially since I know that you're friends with Josh Mankiewicz, and I want to be friends separately with Keith Morrison, and I want to hang it over your head somehow.
And we'll have like a scrimmage.
And then the other guy I like too. Dennis.
Yeah, I don't care. I just like Josh Mankiewicz.
I like the show. The show works for me. You know why? People love murders. They love to find out who murdered them. And they love it when wives turn on their husbands.
I had a very good time, or interesting time, talking to the woman who directed Evil Genius on Netflix.
What is Evil Genius?
Evil Genius is the one about the people who put the bomb around the guy's neck.
Oh, I've seen that, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, man. How come I didn't get to talk to her? And where'd you see her?
Because you would be an embarrassment.
Where'd you see her?
On the podcast, the other one.
Oh, the podcast that has guests.
The Coherent Thought
and a lot
one.
of exciting things going on.
Yeah.
Jesus, Christmas. Will you stop with the podcast? So
Linear Week, it's called. with Mark Thompson.
I'm out of things to say.
That's it. So you watched Seinfeld first thing. What else did you said you've been watching other good things?
Oh, okay. So I did watch, which I really enjoyed. I watched the PGA Championship to root for Tiger.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
He put on a heck of a show.
It made me feel like, I don't care what people say. Oh, when they get mad at Justin Bieber, or they get mad at anybody who's been exposed to this pressure cooker, you're a star. I don't think many people could survive it without having serious trouble. This guy had all of his dirty laundry out in front of everybody, and I think people are rooting for him.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually coming to terms with the fact that he is who he is, and I don't know. It's exciting that he might win a major, so maybe I won't follow it much if he just starts playing terribly.
Right.
That's not a feel-good story. But he seems like more comfortable. I mean, he had a terrible situation with his father, was like, and they talk about a couple of other people too who were only children and pressured really hard.
Yeah.
They named like 3 of them. I couldn't, when they were talking about
Andre Agassi.
Yeah, Andre Agassi hated tennis.
Yeah.
Eventually. No, I think he did hate it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hated it.
All right, so forget about that. So, what else did you do? Did you have any? We have not interesting lives. Shouldn't we have interesting things to talk about?
It's clear we don't have interesting lives, but
I thought we did. I think people listening to this hoping that it will improve their life. Not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
I do. I listen.
It improves I don't think it'll improve your life beyond the listening. It might improve the actual time. If you're doing something really hard, soul crushing.
I would say that the closest I get to pure joy is when I have a couple of ones lined up, Crime Town, Case Crimes, and I have an errand to do that I'm not invested in, walk over here, get a thing.
Yeah.
And it really is pure joy. Pure, total joy. Plus, I think I will be able to crack crimes at one point.
Right. Yeah, I just don't like going through the world with earphones on. I'm way too observational. I'd much rather hear snippets of people's conversations as they walk by, and
well, that's an interesting thing, and also probably will stop you from getting killed. Like I could get killed one day.
There's that too. There's a sense of safety that I like. I like a sense of awareness of what's around me.
Well, in general, the idea that you're going to be involved in this world of Twitter when you're walking to get the mail, that is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to put that beside me. But the idea of for OCD people of just something that goes on that you can listen to that takes away your ability to obsess.
Yeah.
And you're just walking around, and then I can shop nicely. It's great.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm not saying that I'll always. I'm not saying you go out and pitch a tent in the woods and you listen to Vanilla Ice.
That was a bad example.
Yeah.
So I went to a really bad play on Saturday night, which
I heard you tweet about that.
Yeah, it was really bad, and I don't know if I want to crucify the specific person because it was a one-person show, pretty much.
Well, they're going to know now, right?
Huh?
Do they listen to the podcast? Let's take it down.
No, they certainly don't.
Okay, so let's take them down. What was the premise of the thing?
The premise of the thing was it was the daughter. Now I'm going for it. It was the daughter of Bess Meyerson, who was the first and only, I think, Jewish Miss America in 1945.
Oh, okay.
And she was, she was a big hero to Jewish people, especially 1945. That's a big deal at that point to have a Jewish hero. And then she later was in politics, and then she had big scandals with a mafia boyfriend, and she was like a big figure, big tabloid figure in the 80s. And this was her daughter, and she was apparently...
Oh, her daughter's doing the show.
Her daughter's doing the show, yes.
Is Amy Meyerson?
No.
Okay. Is she a comic?
No.
So she's trying...
No.
She's playing her mom in a show about her mom's
No, she
life?
is not. She is playing a show about her relationship with her mother, with her very narcissistic mother. It was like very uncompelling mommy dearest type stuff.
Right. Right.
And it was really badly acted, and it was like a really bad audience for, it's like you could tell that the laughs were not coming at the spots.
Oh yeah.
Because it was like a 70 plus. It was a pretty full house of, probably 150 people. And it was all super old Jews.
And nobody liked it, really, unfortunately.
They didn't get, they were all like, came to hear about Bess Meyerson, I think.
I see.
And so they only laughed at Jew jokes, which weren't very many, really. It was in dialogue. There's tons of phone calls with the mother off
Who played
camera.
the mother?
A comic who's...
Oh, I'm joking. I thought that she would play it.
No, it wasn't. See, it wasn't a true one-woman show, which was another thing that was like kind of fucked up about it. Because usually this show that many people have done, you do the mother too.
Yes, because that's what it's all about.
Right, exactly.
Because the only thing that you're talking about is your mother.
Right.
So why don't you flesh it out? But instead, she used the classic tragedy drama device of calling a friend during the thing.
So the mother is off stage,
and the mother is the
but
voice of Bess Meyerson, supposedly.
Yes.
Hello, darling.
As she's aging and calling at 2 a.m, worrying about her fading looks and things like that.
My looks are fading, honey.
Yes, pretty much. So it was a squirmy, uncomfortable evening.
Now, how did you get roped in to going there?
Well, Madison.
That's all you have to say.
It was Madison. It was
some
all
kind of
Madison
algorithm.
It was literally, he asked me first. I said, I got a thing. And then the day out, he's like,
what did he say?
He asked me if I wanted to go.
And you said what?
I said, I got a thing that night. And then that afternoon, he was like, I can't get anyone to go with me. And I was like, all right, my things fell through. So.
Oh, my God. So you were already going in a way that was not going to enjoy the form.
I didn't think it was going to be good.
Well, I immediately...
But I did want to see, a thing.
No, you didn't. You wanted to go help your friend Joel because you're a mensch.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, yeah, it was bad. And I could dive into all the ways it was shitty.
Yeah, but then it would start to be.
Yeah.
It could be. But that the thing about the amazing Mrs. Maisel is they're all supposed to be Jews. I've never seen worse people acting. Even, and who I think...
That's exactly what I imagined was like... Big Jew.
Yes. Yes. My darling, go into the business. You like money. You're a Jew. You're cheap.
Like
darling.
Avalon on stage.
But Avalon was good. That's the big difference right there.
But they both have Kevin Pollak.
They both have Kevin Pollak. They do?
Mm-hmm.
What else? Kevin Pollak. Avalon and...
Mrs. Maisel?
I don't think he's in it. It's Tony Shalhoub.
No, Kevin Pollak's in it too.
Get out of here.
Watch past an episode and you'll see.
Well, I thought Tony Shalhoub, and I love Tony Shalhoub. I know Tony Shalhoub. He was involved in...
If you keep saying his name, it's going to sound completely fake.
I went to a house organizing union party with Tony Shalhoub.
And your nose, Tony Shalhoub.
And this was like, what should have happened is Mandy Patinkin should have come in the middle of the scene and just just punched everybody out for not doing it, because he does a Jew well. I'm Mandy Patinkin. Mandy Patinkin. Do you think it's weak impression if all you do is say the name of the character?
Name of the person, yes.
Mandy Patinkin.
Cary Grant. James Stewart.
Cary Grant on acid. Why do I sound like Jimmy Stewart when I take acid? Why? You could see why neither one of us really rose the ranks of the...
Anything.
Yeah. I did see a really great documentary that I thought you might like. It's called Dealt.
Yeah.
And it's about this guy who's a close-up... he's a cards... he's a card cheater. He knows how...
good.
And... but he is actually... technically blind, and he just hates when anybody brings up that he's blind.
Yeah.
As part of why they like him. What's the point of that? Why he doesn't want to be seen that way?
Yeah.
Well, the guy's amazing. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I wouldn't want.
Sounds good.
I wouldn't want to put him at a random intersection in L.A. and turn off the Braille system. It's not Braille, but it goes boop 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 boop. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I have nothing against these people. Why do I
Who
have to?
says you don't do good impressions? You just did a great fucking traffic light.
Boop. No, they do this. They'll boop, don't. Well, and some of them go, don't, not now, maybe soon. This is hilarious.
In the Jewish neighborhoods.
Hey,
Stop with the walking.
I still can't get the. Here's the thing I'm scared about is that I like to be seen as a forward-thinking man.
Yeah,
but that's the worst.
It's because
attitude.
you can't remember anything. That's the only way you should be thinking.
That's why I say think forward. What's the alternative? Is what I say. My mother did say to me, I tweeted it, I think I kind of got it, but she said that I'm very popular amongst the group of people who people don't really know at all, aren't known.
Right. That's why I wrote, you're very popular with Sherpas.
Yeah, I don't even understand that joke.
It's because it's a group of people that people don't know anything about.
Is the Sherpa?
And also, you will go to any lengths to get to your goal.
Right.
Of a punchline.
Is the Sherpas the one who helped mountain climbers?
Yes.
Why didn't I know that 10
you
seconds ago?
kind of did.
I think I'm doing very well, much better with like early on in the podcast, I say to myself, I didn't prepare anything. I'm saying nothing now.
Yeah.
And all you can do when you focus like that is be in that prison or break out. Now, I did break out of a prison this week.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you didn't lead with that.
Yes. I was going to be late for my therapy, but I wasn't late for my therapy. But I told myself, if I'm late, it literally does not matter. It does not mean I'm a bad person.
Right.
So I don't have to rush and recriminate myself. And it worked. It worked for that within those parameters. So
here's my little trick when I'm running borderline late.
You never are.
No, sometimes I am. And it makes me more stressed than you probably because you're used to it.
I like the way, because you're used to it, you fuck up.
That's your every time feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
But I always go, like if I'm in the car and it's trafficy and I feel like this is going to take forever, but sometimes I don't start bumming out until I'm actually late.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So if I'm in the car 20 to 1, I'm like, all right, we're going to see how it goes. I might get there. But then at 1, if I'm still in the car, then I'm...
Do you get nervous that people will yell at you, like being late?
No, I hate being late just because it's rude. I don't really care. I really don't think people generally are going to be mad at me.
Right.
And if I know it's going to happen, I will text them and tell them,
But I have that
But generally, people are later than me to almost everything.
Yes. And I think that's an example of someone being very well-adjusted. Because I find that if I can take the moving fast out of the day, so much better. There's nothing I'm accomplishing by moving so fast.
Yeah.
And so I really could have the life I've always wanted, Josh, if I...
Slow down. You move too fast.
You got to make this morning last. I'm very sorry I
finished that. So I've been deep diving on YouTube. I'm in a little love affair with YouTube right now.
And what are you seeing when you go there?
I'm watching a ton of old TV, like Dick Cavett interviews and lots of old comedians. And I almost for like 6 hours this weekend, I had convinced myself that I was going to make a Jimmy Walker documentary.
That you were going to make one?
Yeah.
Oh.
After watching interviews with him. I watched this. There's a great place of interviews. It's called Foundation Interviews, and it's the TV Academy.
How do you find it's on
YouTube, and it's YouTube, and the channel is Foundation Interviews.
Okay.
And it's by the TV Academy.
Gotcha.
And it is sit down interviews with as many people as they can get from the history of television, essentially.
Right.
So it's like every cast member from a lot of shows you'll see, you'll see everyone from MASH is on there and everyone,
right.
And they go, and it's really for archival purpose. It's, it's like the Showa project, but
with
it's the Showa business project.
Sorry about my coughing.
So I was watching a Jimmy Walker interview, and Jimmy Walker's like 71 now.
Right.
And he's been a comic since the 60s.
Was it when you saw a current interview or an old one?
Yeah, very recent. And Jimmy Walker doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Jimmy Walker has a complete sense of where his place in showbiz history is. He will talk shit about anybody.
That's good.
From his life. With a very clear head and a very clear sense of what went down in various situations. And so he's just this great fucking interview, and he's been around for 50 years almost in this thing, which I'm always fascinated by.
That's pretty cool.
I always love that thing of people who just stay at it, kind of,
Yeah.
And I was like so enthralled by it. And then ultimately I got off the train because the problem, the thing that undoes the whole thing for me is that his stand-up is so fucking bad.
Is his stand-up universally bad?
It's really bad. It is all first thought theater, and it has been for the whole 50 years.
I don't think he was expecting to have to go back to stand-up.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess not.
Wait, was he a stand-up before he...
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
But he was not a successful one when he was discovered.
Right.
By Norman Lear's people. So he was one of those guys who got jumped up a big, like Paul Rodriguez when he first got AKA Pablo back way
it's
back.
Very
when.
hard. I mean, I'm not even making a comment about the people's individual
or your
talent.
client on I'm Dying Up Here.
Oh, yeah, who I still gets me sad.
Who
just because you wrote that joke saying I'm probably not going to be brought back. I don't see them announcing.
Spoil my career alert.
I don't see them announcing a new season either.
Not yet. I haven't seen it. No. So who knows?
Is anybody ever going to say, when I say that, oh, really? Because I heard earlier today it got a spin-off, got picked up with you, old Jew agent.
I'm feeling better up here.
Not so bad up here. I'm telling you, though, my mind keeps going back to Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, not good.
I literally... Okay, here's another thing about Mrs. Maisel. First of all, I'm sure the people who put the show together are talented and they hate my guts. But it starts out with her at her wedding.
Yeah.
And she's doing material at her wedding. Okay?
Yeah.
This guy, that lady... here's my message to anybody. You can't have the documentary or the movie about Thomas Edison be a light bulb goes off in his brain and he decides to come up with the light bulb. You can't have these hacky things on these shows. Nobody becomes a comic by getting drunk and going back to the club and killing. It doesn't exist. And and wouldn't you think, do I really want to use Lenny Bruce to hock around with? Let him go. Because she says, is it worth it? And he shrugs. Maybe he knows he's going to end up dead in an apartment.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Although now I am compelled to watch it a little bit more. No.
Yes,
I don't have the time. I don't have the time like I used to watch bad. Like I could never watch an evening at the Improv again.
No. But certain people, if I saw their set, I would go, oh, I got to see what they were like in 1987.
Well, those foundation interviews sound interesting to me.
They're great. It's a deep dive. You will go down the rabbit hole, and they've got them edited into topics too. So it'll be, So
now, when you say deep dive, and then what was the second metaphor?
I don't know. I don't even know what I said. Rabbit hole? Did I say?
What was that cartoon character that would do that? Like a dog.
Yeah, it was a dog. Hanna-Barbera dog.
This is the world's most boring person. What was that show? Josh, did you see that show that had the dog in it?
Yes. It was Frasier.
Now let me ask you a question. Does Frasier hold up? Sometimes.
Yeah, I think sometimes. I think it's really well acted.
I like him as Frasier. I like Niles as Niles.
Yeah.
I like Perry Gilpin.
Yeah. John Mahoney was great.
John Mahoney was great. But I'm finding that...
Jane Leaves
was great. But do you find that
Moose, the dog,
Moose,
as Eddie.
Moose, look, I watched the first couple of years of Mad About You without thinking it could hurt me.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny show for 5 minutes.
It was bantery fun.
And there were Jews. That's what I found reassuring about it.
Yeah.
How would you rate this podcast so far?
Middling?
The worst podcast.
I put it in middling.
It's middling, but it's not as bad as I didn't give up.
No.
Sometimes I'll give up.
Yeah, sure. And there's still time to go.
Well, I also can. There's
still
ways.
Walls to hit.
Well, there's 2 ways I can mess up. I can needle you I can needle you in a way that only serves to either annoy you or to express anger for myself about things that might have been.
Right. Just shut us both down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a bad improv actor. Well, how long have we done with? Because you wrote 2 Jews in our new shirt that's coming out. When is it coming out?
You know what? Should I roll the dice and go? It's going to be out now.
Yes, do it.
I'm going to put the pressure on Alex.
I saw it today. Who came up with the shirts?
It's me. This is my new. I have a new shirt. The shirt. I've decided to go a whole new route with shirts, and make it more of a project because it costs us nothing.
Shh.
No,
Why do you say that?
Let's play an open hand. It costs us nothing to post a design for a shirt on the site because they're all made to order. So what I'm going to do is try to make a lot of shirts, and give a variety of choices for people.
Oh, yeah.
So in fact, I think even here's my guideline is I think we both have to sign off on them,
right?
But it has to be a shirt that I would wear.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's a classic catchphrase."
So and even if people want to submit stuff, now understand, we won't pay you anything for your design,
right? But we're doing New York,
and we won't necessarily put it up because I'm really
you gotta love it.
I'm really steadfast that I want to like each shirt that we put up,
right?
But we will put your design if we use your design, we'll ask you first,
yes, and
we will put your name in the description on Zazzle as designed by you in the product description.
It sounds like anybody who wants to get their own thing going to the next level would stay away from this project.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to Tom Sawyer anyone into this. But,
no, and
but we've gotten a couple of cool fan art things over the years now.
Yes, I still haven't listened, and I feel very bad. I haven't listened to the remake. I got a thing of Karen and some other music that was given to me at the club, and I haven't. It's on my desk now. People love
the thing that they put on the CD?
Yeah,
that was the thing that was. We already played on the
CD
show.
Of his of somebody's music.
Oh, okay.
I hate that I take any time at all apologizing for the other things I didn't do on the podcast. Who does it help? Sorry, my bad. So, what are you going to do now? There's the thing. Do you buy? I think this C.J. Wallace is the greatest person in the world. I love his energy.
Yeah.
But he does the way he not operates, but the way he makes decisions. It's happening.
I think that's an indie filmmaker thing.
That's right.
And I can respect it. And the philosophy is this.
You get it all together?
No one in the world is that encouraging of you making an indie film.
Yes.
There are people who get excited about it, but in general, the world doesn't give a shit that you're making a movie. So the attitude you have to take is, I am going to charge forward until someone tells me I have to stop.
That's exactly right. And that's what he does.
And he does it, and I respect it. I'm more cautious about it because when I was making it, I was just throwing my own money at problems, so it was a different thing.
Right.
But I think that's how you have to operate to make shit.
He's so
just charge forward and act as if until someone says no, it's not as if.
And he's putting together.
And I don't think this whole thing fell apart. No. I just think he just got a little roadblock thrown up, and we're going to be back at it.
Right, but he has in his personality, just like I have it in my personality, to tell everybody I'll answer your email. And all. He has in his personality to say it's just going to be a couple of days.
Yeah,
That's cool. The guy is like all I know is that when this movie
I just want communication, and he's doing that
yes.
Pretty well right now.
I think if anybody goes radio silent, it means they can't talk to you right now.
Right.
Well, unless you want to hear, Josh, whoa, am I in hot water? Can I talk to you? But I wanted to make sure S to Q is still on board.
She was on the little poster he published. So.
And in the meanwhile, I don't think I should put all my eggs in that independent film basket.
Probably not, but
I just
put enough of an egg to learn your lines.
Well, I used to say to myself, the fact that I don't prepare, the fact that I don't care about, try to get the role right, that was some kind of, like I was like James Dean. And only in the fact that James Dean is dead was I like James Dean. And only in that joke was not good. Too soon?
Yes, too soon.
Yeah, but have you ever been on auditions? Have you made this choice, which I've made on a lot of auditions, I'm going to be like a method actor and just like, it's like more mumbly, more like throwing it away?
No, but I've never been on enough auditions to have a part where that would be a choice.
Yeah, but it's like a Rob Morrow. Where are you guys going? Like that.
Yeah.
Now I realize that anything you think internally when you're acting is not going to help you. Because when you're in real life, do you say to yourself, look at him more intently. He's not buying it.
Right.
Obviously, I'm never going to teach an acting class. I want to do something online, though. They're all doing these online tutorials.
Masterclass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Kevin Spacey have one of those things?
I don't know.
Are we going to be... Here's the thing. I am fascinated by the fact that we live in a society where Kevin Spacey is no longer in our culture.
Right. But we don't know the long term. We were talking...
True.
He's only been disappeared for a year now.
I want to say, though, like him or hate him, he handled it very well. He answered to the kid, sounds like, I don't know, I don't think I did it, but it doesn't sound good. And they're trying to come after me on Twitter. And they have not been able, the people who the people try to ruin your career because they try and say you said something.
Oh, yeah.
And it just is not working. I say, I think white people smell funny. They're funny looking. And then there's another tweet that they put it with, I'm against prejudice. And they think that they've caught me.
Total gotcha.
Well.
Because they think that white racism exists.
Right. I missed that joke. What is that joke?
I just mean that. I mean that's literally what they. I mean this whole wave of racism in this country is all just panic that they're going to be a minority.
Yes, exactly.
But in the meantime, they're preparing for it as if they already are.
Yeah, they're so. First of all, God bless this Jacob Kessler, whoever this guy was, who organized the thing last year that got out of the show.
Yeah.
He organized it again, and there's 20 people.
Right.
Did you hear any of his speeches?
No.
We shouldn't be a minority, too.
Right.
Why can't we have right? It's weak. It's
so
weak marketing.
It's so weak. But that's what the fear is. And that's what Obama unleashed.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah,
this
look
is
at
what this is fucking going to look like.
People who don't look like you and...
Right.
Well, I hope we survive it. I keep saying that every day. And it doesn't help anything.
No. But, it's better than we're not going to survive it.
Right. I think you seem as a cynical, a practical, cynical person.
Yeah.
Why, you shouldn't.
I take after my mother. I'm a cheerful pessimist.
That's cool. That is very cool. But I've got nothing. Why if I have nothing?
You have me at that's cool.
Well, yeah, why can't I just stop talking and assume that you'll pick it up?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nope.
No? Well, the reason why you can't pick it up is because I put pressure by acknowledging the dead moments. I don't do that in my act except every joke. Hey, what are you doing? How come you didn't like that joke?
Why did I hear you sip?
Yes. How come I don't kill? I'm going to England. You know that, right?
I do know that.
And my brother treated me to the airline tickets. It's like the greatest thing in the world.
So first class?
No, business class.
Yeah.
And it's like it makes a whole
pretty
difference.
Cool. Oh God, it takes all the dread out.
It's like I'm going to enjoy my. Will I enjoy my time in England? I believe that I will now.
That was super cool of your brother.
Yeah, he's very cool.
That's awesome. Because that's the kind of shit that I believe you should spend money on.
Yes, he offers these things that are very cool.
Comfort and hassle aversion are the two things I love spending money on.
True.
I don't love stuff that much. I don't like possessions all that much. Like I don't buy toys and new cars and that shit.
Right.
But I will I'll blow big on comfort. I'll blow big on food. I'll blow big on
things that are actually. Although I really am wrestling.
Hassle. That's what I love spending money to avoid is hassle.
That seems to be. Look, you won't return a $500,000 shirt to a store, but not having a hassle. That's how DoorDash got started.
Yeah, and I abuse it.
Yeah, I've been a little bit better about it, but not much. You have been to the Granville you liked, right?
Yeah.
There's some. We need new restaurants or something.
I'm always looking. I'm always scouting now.
Why don't we open up a restaurant?
Because we'd fail.
We'd blow it. Neither one of us has business skills. You do.
No, I don't.
Not for a restaurant. How's it going? Why is Josh running around like he's the big macher? You enjoying the meal? Yes, Josh. Well, why are you here? That's my job as the restaurateur. Buon appetito. Buon appetito. Hey, Todd Glass has a very funny character of the guy who is the maitre d' of the restaurant, but like you'll hear him yelling in the back, "Get that the hell out!" Oh, so good to see you.
Yeah,
I love that. And I used to think that people who were acting like they knew, not even in the show business way, but there's certain like maitre d's who have a familiarity, and they make you feel special. And I think that when I used to go to Canada, he did it with everybody, and I thought it was a special thing.
Right. Well, it works.
It did work at Beauty's.
If you feel like you're a regular somewhere.
Yeah, where everybody knows my name.
Or something like that.
So, should we take a break, you think? Or what do we got?
Well, if you got to ask, then
how far are we now?
Then we oughta.
Are we past an hour? That's all I care about.
We're not past an hour, but we're
close.
We can see an hour from here.
Well, then maybe we should keep going or talk about it more.
Yeah, that could pad it out for no reason.
Yeah, this could be the great episode where they talked about.
Now that we have our new slogan, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours.
That's so good.
That's the new shirt. That's one of the new shirts.
And the other one is
anything but Thought Spiral.
That one is
so go to Zazzle.com and type in Thought Spiral and you'll see the product line.
I'm close to being able to bring in some music, and I thought I'd be able to do it this week.
I was hoping. I was just about to ask, did you maybe bring a thumb drive or something? Or, all right.
Next week, though.
Okay. Well, I didn't prepare, but what do you... let me just say, I'm looking in the file.
Next week, bring music.
Yeah, bring music. What did we do last week? Oh, we did Allison last week.
Yeah.
And I got
she was great.
Michelle Weiscarver said that was her favorite thus far.
That was a really good song. Which was the... You wrote the song, right? No, I don't know.
No, it was her. It was one of Allison's. It was Love and Understanding.
Right.
So let's stay with an Allison thing.
We should book ourselves as the hesitant promoters.
As the
Perhaps you'll like this.
Okay, here's a good one. This was on the album that we did called 1,000 Ways to Fall. It's a song that we wrote together. Allison, as like I've said, most of the songs that we write together, it was Allison's idea, and I just help. Mm-hmm. You might think the opening line sounds like me, but it's Allison.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite lines of hers. It's very funny.
Oh, cool. Don't build it up.
And what else is interesting about this track? Rami Jaffe from the Wallflowers plays the Hammond B3 organ on this track.
How do you know the wall? How are you with the Wallflowers?
That connection came through Scott Pinkerton. So we also had Paul Barrere from Little Feat play on the album.
I love that group.
So this is called Ordinary Shore.
Okay, I accept it.
I think I'm giving up on my crusade. Wanna take all my dilemmas and make to lemonade. I'm tired of pulling thread. Wanna come back down to earth now, give it a great big kiss. I think I've heard enough conspiracies. Peek through every keyhole. I don't wanna see your dirty little fingerprints on diplomats and presidents. Can I come to your defense? You don't have the evidence, and I've got my faith now. I don't need yours. You're a revolutionary on an ordinary shore. Have you ever found what you're looking for? You're a revolutionary on a very ordinary shore. Ooh, Did you think that you might be forever young? It's just that pain sounds like truth when it's sung. Doorway to your dreams may not lead you where you want, but you can't sneak through the back door. What won't fit through the front? And I'm done with paranoia. It's you they're out again. Made a lot of guesses, but haven't been right yet. When you sleep with one eye open, you don't get much rest. And a good night's sleep may be what you need to see that you are blessed. Well, I've got my faith and I don't need yours. You're a revolutionary on an ordinary shore. Have you ever found what you're looking for? You're a revolutionary on a very ordinary shore. Ooh,
I'm Jay Sekulow, and with me is Rudy Giuliani all night long. We're going to be running the hits of the 50s and 60s. I love that song. And, you know, what was that effect that in the beginning where it was like...
It was a drum track run backwards.
That is good stuff.
Because we figured, this is Pink and I produced that, and we figured that it would fit into the conspiracy theory thing with the
Yeah, but I didn't
backwards.
hear the first line that you said you liked. I don't remember the first line.
I think I'm giving up on my crusade. I'm going to take all my dilemmas and make lemonade.
I didn't hear that. I heard Lemon's Lemonade, and that's not even it.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Lemonade. Come on, that's my wife, people.
Come on, people. She has a great voice.
Yeah.
It
was actually, I think, Ordinary Shore, Revolutionary on Ordinary Shore was a David Horowitz phrase.
You mean the ex-left-wing guy?
Yeah, she had read a book.
Oh, so now he's one of those guys who wrote...
He's horrible.
He's horrible. And that guy like Bernie, another guy named Bernie too. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. You know, when there was a time period where they were all saying that the press was so liberal.
Right.
I liked it. Oh, also I liked the lead. There was an interesting lead. It sounded like a theremin almost, but it wasn't.
That was the Hammond B3. That was the...
See?
That was Rami Jaffe, yeah.
That sounds good. Is Hammond the name of a person? Oh, just shoot me. Just shoot me in the head.
It probably was the name of a person.
No, just shoot me in the head. What's the point? It either was the name of a person or it wasn't.
It almost certainly was the name of a person.
But I think of rhythm and blues, right?
Yeah, like it's what Paul Schaefer played as his main acts, was a Hammond B3.
Yeah, he played up, though, a lot.
That's what Booker...
Is he in the MGs?
No, he didn't actually play that. He played a more Wurlitzer thing.
You know who I like? Tommy James and the Shandells.
Really?
And I know that's a hacky thing to say because they've been around a long time, but do you like them? I will feel good about it.
No, I think you're alone now.
I don't get it. Oh, it's a
their
lyric?
fucking song.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You love them so much.
Who? The fella playing the song? Who? I don't know. What are you talking about? I'd like to do a version of that bit where neither one of the guys in the comedy duo is into it.
It's been covered.
Oh, that's going to be the next Aristocrats.
I was trying to find
Poop Talk?
I was trying to find old Abbott and Costello interviews and stuff, too.
Oh, how was that?
Not a lot. There's not a lot.
I would love to see that.
I did watch a Lou Costello This Is Your Life episode.
Wow. I'd like to see Stan Laurel.
You're not going to show me my life. Let's go to questions, since we're just barely hanging on here by a germ.
That would be, but it's just the good kind of germ. 8 o'clock on the on Right Wing Radio, on Right Wing NRA Radio. I'm Jay Sekulow. You supposed to say you're Rudy Giuliani.
And I'm Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, so we're taking your questions, and basically the president is good to go.
He's good to go. It's all a farce.
Can you believe it? Drive time, me and you. Jay Sekulow can't be a real...
He never told Comey to lay off Flynn, but if he did, it wouldn't have been a crime, because people tell people to lay off people all the time. But he never did it.
Do you realize that Rudy Giuliani peaked on 9/11, his career?
That was it.
That was the best day of his life. I can't stop thinking.
All right, let's ask some questions.
All right.
Allie Berger wants to know...
I know Allie Berger. He's Ken Berger's son.
Okay. And he said, I wanted to remind Andy of one of his classic bits. When my brother and I were kids, we each had stuffed animal dogs. One was named Buckets, and the other one was Barrels. Andy referred to them as vessels and pails.
I think, an hour and a half. Vessels and pails. The kids loved me.
Guy Incognito wants to know, Josh, are you planning or pre-planning any other documentary idea? Well, I was on the J.J. Walker thing for about 6 hours the other day. I loved I Need You to Kill. Thank you. Andy, have you thought of branding coffee-specific items such as a pound of espresso called I Wish This Was Bitter? Perhaps time to step into the Java game.
I think that's great. I wish this was bitter. Oh, I enjoyed that. See, because I'm open to that now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like...
it's a whole new merch approach.
Like...
Marin has his own coffee.
Yeah, but would mine be like...
He gave me a pound of it when we were over there. Remember?
I know.
Yeah, I tried it. It's very dark. You would not like it.
I know. I don't really like it. He got away from dark roast, and then he went back into it.
Then he quit coffee. He was off to coffee when we were
That's
there.
right. He's doing
tea.
PG tips.
He was doing tea, yeah. Brian said, I bought a navy blue jacket at Savers thrift store in Minneapolis, and it had a handful of Louis Lee business cards in the pocket.
That is so cool.
As he passed by me last time I was at Acme, I nervously said nothing.
Oh.
I own your old jacket is a weird conversation starter, right?
Okay,
kind of. Especially with Louis, who's not that gregarious.
Where did he buy it?
At a thrift store.
Oh, now I have a...
so you're a small man, is what you're saying, Brian.
Now, was this... I remember that was one of...
He's not a large man.
Not a larger man, sir. This was one of Lewis's schemes in the 80s to... instead of calling up people and having them win a free
put
drink.
comps in the pockets and drop them off at thrift stores.
Well, these business cards are... I found... Oh, well, you're a very lucky man.
That's right. Did you ever hear the story how on The Wizard of Oz they bought this coat for the guy who played the fortune teller guy, the traveling huckster guy?
No,
at the beginning, the road show guy.
Oh yeah, is he also Oz?
And he's also Oz, yeah. And then he looked in the pocket of the coat that they bought at a thrift store, and it was owned by L. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's like a Hitchcock thing where Hitchcock would put himself in to the... Here's my idea for a show.
Yeah.
It's psycho, but it's funny. He's funny about it.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto. I'm working on a new song. You want to hear?
Sure.
Yoshi Yamamoto. Moto. That's all I have.
Yoshi, don't be discouraged. The Yamamoto is your last name.
There's no greater lyric in the history of song than hee-ho.
Hee-ho.
Hey-ho.
Oh,
I don't see him playing out that long.
not so much. He doesn't see it either.
Bink, bink, bink. People love blind jokes.
Better than gay jokes.
What's wrong, Josh? Hey, Josh, what's wrong? Are you thinking about a homosexual act with somebody?
Yes, and...
Yes, and?
and...
Are you... What's the matter, Josh? Are you gay? This would be gold in the 80s.
What, are you, a gay retard, they'd say, and then everyone would laugh and laugh. Yoshi Yamamoto wants to know, I see that Andy finally got rhombus space to work at JFL. Finally got rhombus space.
It's so funny.
Because of the folks, I spent an hour in a thesaurus looking up trapezoid tag. Was that ad-libbed, or did Josh stop fighting the joke and offer up the tag? I'm going to say neither.
Neither.
I'm going to say it was neither.
We wish that these events happened in some kind of magical way.
Right. I'm going to say I didn't write it, but Andy did a long time ago.
Probably.
Well, let's go with his partner in crime, Perush.
I love him.
I was going to ask you guys to do they look like dress pants in the My Pillow guy voice, but you guys did that already in Test Show 66. Dope.
Oh, we did as the My Pillow guy?
Yes, I did. They look like dress pants, but they're not. They're yoga pants.
They look like dress pants, but they aren't. They're yoga pants.
They look like dress pants, but they're not. They're yoga pants.
I can't believe, though, you still drew the line at me playing that clip on the show.
Yes. Stand By Your Man says, have either of you seen Bobby Kennedy for President on Netflix yet? I didn't find it to be the strongest documentary I've seen, but lots of amazing archival footage and a fantastic score by Paul Brill. Follow-up, what makes a documentary great in your eyes? I did see some of it. It was very kind of History Channel-y. It was very basic cable-y, I thought. But there was good footage. What makes a great documentary is a great story. You know, it's either a great character who you've never seen or met before, or just a great story that you've never heard. You know, but
yeah,
it's all about taking what I think every documentary story deserves its own kind of telling. I think the story should dictate the style.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know that everyone has that philosophy, but I really think that let the story dictate what the style of the movie is, essentially. Right, but didn't someone once have all these different people doing Bob Dylan in a documentary?
No, that was not a documentary.
It was bad.
That was a
right?
scripted movie.
It had to be bad.
I didn't see it. Some people liked it, some people didn't.
Boy, are you really afraid to give your...
Will Pfeiffer, no question. Just a comment to say that Andy's joke about Mark Twain collecting exotic riverboats almost caused me to have a car accident. Well done, sir.
Oh, thank you. Does that mean he was at the show? I did that show at the Kennedy Center.
No, you described it on the podcast last week.
It was a many splendid thing.
Tommy Barcanero says, do you think the NBA will eventually become more popular than the NFL? I do. And I think it should.
I still love football the most, but they have to stop people from getting killed, and they have to stop these racist owners from trying to tell people. the truth is, I don't give a shit about the national anthem. That's the truth.
Right.
And you can kiss my ass. Josh, don't give me any beef.
Well, I understand. You like dishonoring veterans in so many ways.
Right. Why
that's
choose
just
one? I really think it's a terrible song. It's like the pledging allegiance. It's a bad song, and if someone wants to commemorate it, I'm thrilled that they want to do it. When you see that guy like Jerry Jones talking, my players are going to. It's like just why don't you say hi? I'm Robert the racist. I'm Jerry Jones the racist.
Well, the real thing about it to me is that it's such a completely artificial connection that
Yes.
that it's about the military to begin with. The reason it's about the military is because the military became huge sponsors of the NFL in order to present their color guard during the national anthem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's not just pure patriotism that connection is born from, it's born of commerce.
Right. Well,
So it's just another thing that takes the false sacredness away from it.
It's so transparent, and it's transparent. This guy,
it's a recruiting tool.
Trump has never been in a war. He could never fight in a war. He's a coward, and he's going to act like he's he didn't include McCain's name in something. I don't know what he's doing. He's still going after McCain.
It was the defense bill today. He signed this $800 billion defense bill called the John McCain something defense bill.
He wouldn't call it that?
He refused to call it that, and everyone at the event didn't mention it.
You know what? These people are. You know what? They're unpleasant. I'm just.
They
gonna
are
say
unpleasant.
It. They're unpleasant. I'm not a fan.
Also, not entirely competent.
That's the thing that I don't know what. You hear that Kelly firing Omarosa.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know this is where I start to kind of hate the media. They should never introduce Kelly's name without saying that he lied about what a congresswoman said. And that and he never apologized for it because they're making it.
Yeah, that's his biggest sin. That's not his biggest sin. He's a fucking complicit in an entire fucking administration of fascism, and you're worried about an insult.
I'll tell you why. I have never in my life seen someone make up a story that was completely untrue, that was based on racism. Obviously, he's a racist if he thinks the black lady is making crazy remarks.
That's a leitmotif of this entire administration, is making up stories that are racist.
Yeah.
Like the rapist that Mexico is sending.
And otherwise, what's interesting? Otherwise, I thought that escalator blast off was pretty good.
In the Space Force, bone spurs don't matter in space.
I cannot imagine a worse situation when this guy's saying, when Pence is saying, we want to, what does he say? It's a warfare arena. And we want to be dominant in it, he says.
Right.
God. I don't know why you voted for Pence. I don't know why.
Well, I voted for Pence. And Trump just came along with him. So yes, going back to Tommy's question, I do believe the NBA. I believe the NBA is a much better run league. It's actually a pro player league. Right. Although they have pulled their own shenanigans with the players. They have been mean to the players, but not recently, I guess. I made up that story. It probably haven't been mean to the players. You see, the NFL traditionally, this was what was kind of a joke when the guy who was Doug Allen, he was the head of our union at some point, and he was also the head of the Players Association. Right. And he's a horrible hire because that is the weakest union of all the sports, is the NFL. Yeah. Well, they don't have guaranteed contracts. They baseball being, and they discourage any celebration of the individual. Yeah. Including that's part of why you can't take your fucking helmet off on the field. It's bad. I don't know. I just can't replace my love for the sport, but I could see how if they don't clean it up. I just think it's going to die off because parents are going to stop letting their kids play. I can't watch basketball until the playoffs start. That's my problem. Basketball. Yeah, I like basketball. What's that? I like basketball, but don't you think they should have less teams get to the postseason? No, I like the playoffs. You do, but then it's like, why watch the regular season? Even in football, you really have to be one of the top teams to get in.
I just think I think they have to change it somehow. Make the game quick. Make the hoop higher. Like twice as high.
Yeah.
And just because one way we can still go in this country, up. We can still build up. Are you going to rescue this?
The man on the pneumatic pogo stick.
Every time you say that, I feel a twinge.
In your back?
Yes.
Prush has a couple here.
He's back, baby.
He's back. When I met Andy and Josh at the Improv Lab after the show, Joel Madison and Andy sung a few bits from what they referenced as Stand Up the Musical. Details?
The details are, and it's a very difficult details, because my friend Christina Hall and I wrote that concept and many examples of it on one night in Seattle when we were like laughing and we were on something. I forgot what we were on.
No.
And then people have added on to it, but it has never been developed past that first.
It's a series of one-liners.
Yeah. I'm a funny lady, but I can't get. And this one, I don't have to sing that well because I'm the neighbor's wife.
Which you did in the live show.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the middle, or something like that.
I got stuck in the middle. If you fall in love with the middle, you better hope that he headlines one day. The opener's been coughing. The middle's got the flu. The headliner just got a series. Tell me, what are we going to do? Call the juggler. He can be here in a minute. Any juggler, even with a 3-ball limit. The crowd will start to cheer as he throws those balls into the stratosphere. You like my inside joke?
Yeah.
Even with a 3-ball limit?
Yes.
I want to make this play. I think it could be fun.
I think that was the I'm in love with the middle was what opened it all, the memory jog for you.
The memory jog. But then you have to write the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. It's never going to happen. Dana Schwartz followed up Bruce's thing with a mocking, when I met Andy and Josh at the Improv Lab. Yeah, sure. We got it.
Wow, that sounds like me every day.
Yeah. Jim Meehan wants to know, did you include the word denouement in the SOTI so French-speaking Montrealers would understand part of it? Please include robust in Test Show 67 so I can pretend it's 2013 again.
I do believe that adding more French, I think he's right, that adding more French would always be good. Quel dommage. Comme ci, comme ça. A bientôt. Pretty impressive, right?
Absolutely. Absolument.
Absolutement. That's the only words you know in French, are the ones that are the same as English, but you add a mont at the end.
Go fuck yourself, mont.
I just remember one more annoying thing from Mrs. Maisel is that her husband stole Bob Newhart's bit about Abe Lincoln, and he said that's how all comics start. And then when she gets to the club to have her big breakthrough set, a comic's on stage doing the Newhart bit. Was that the only bit they were doing that they all did? They all stole the Newhart bit?
It's called callback, Andy.
You know what? You've often told me after the show that going back to the same well is not necessarily enriching.
Yeah. You don't want to go up that hill to fetch a pail of water.
Hey, babe.
Johnny L. Tenney says, for both of you, you're asked to go on a world tour. It's a multi-million-dollar contract, but it's opening for someone you despise. Do you do it? Yes. The tour poster will show you bowing down in front of the headliner. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is all assuming it involves 4 figures, at least.
$1 million.
Oh, $1 million. All right.
Multi-million-dollar contract. It's a really tough one, Johnny L.
You know what? I understand there is I would not open up for Hitler. I would not open up for...
No, but Dane Cook, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Why would they pay me that much money?
It's a hypothetical.
That's why they call it a hypothetical.
That's right. Okay, Nick Kosei has a multi-part question here.
Très bien.
Wow, Test Show 66, what a show. Absolutely phenomenal. First, I just want to say I'm quite surprised in trying to get Andy to watch the Blues Brothers that you have thus far omitted the fact that the movie literally has Nazis as the bad guys. Which leads me to my 2 questions. 1, are Nazis a prerequisite for a good Indiana Jones movie? And 2, Josh, after you finished the shooting for I Need You to Kill and began to reflect on the footage, what were the first sequences of the film that you could begin to visualize and get excited about?
You go first, because I don't even remember the question directed to me.
I think the first thing I cut together was the sequence with Tom Segura and Chad Daniels going to get suits made.
That was a great scene.
Because it was all shot with one camera, so it was easy for me to tell the story in a fairly linear way.
Yeah.
And start establishing a rhythm for things. So I think that's what I edited first.
I love the idea of the documentaries appeal to me so much, and some of them are horribly made sometimes, but the whole idea of that it's a story about somebody's life, but it also can go off into different directions. It's kind of non-linear a lot of times. You know, it like I didn't sense the linear. I sensed the linear things in those movies, but I wasn't thinking about them. I Need You to Kill. I wasn't thinking about the through line, although I do think about it when I think back about it, because.
Well, I don't want you to notice.
Yeah.
In my movies, I really don't. I really want you not to feel the filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know, except for, you know, like I threw in that editing joke, which is obviously a filmmaker's joke, but it was, but I really feel like, you know, I always judge things by, is this going to take the audience out of the experience of this movie, this choice?
Yeah.
Is it going to make someone think of the director making a choice, you know?
Well, what's his name does that all the time, and he makes good ones, right? The Fog of War guy? Harold.
It's not Harold.
Howard.
Stop saying names, and I might remember it.
Morris. Errol Morris.
Errol Morris, yes.
Yeah. But it works for him. But I think in general what you're saying makes sense. But the thing I think
Errol Morris, I mean, yeah, and Errol Morris is someone, as much as I like Errol Morris's movies, it's totally antithetical to my style.
Yeah.
Which is he uses recreations, which I really don't like unless absolutely necessary. And every movie is very much an Errol Morris movie.
That's true.
You know, and I feel like that's the form, that's choosing the form first and using it as a template for a story.
Right.
And, you know, and even those movies aren't exact, you know, it's not like his movies are all the same. That's definitely not the case. But every one of his movies is an Errol Morris movie, you know?
Yeah. Well, Thin Blue Line, I think, was my favorite of those.
Yeah.
Things where.
Well, that was his big one.
Well, here's the thing, too, is like, you also, I'm not a filmmaker. I wish I was.
I hate calling myself that, but I've made 3 now.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's legit now.
You, as a filmmaker, and, it's words like filmmaker, artist, they just eventually will not win you any friends.
Right.
But you also have to be open enough to know that someone buying those suits could be fun. You know, a lot of people will decide, I don't like the activity. You know, you have to be a little bit open in documentaries to where it's going to go on its own.
Right.
And I thought that you did that, captured that in both of the ones. What's the third one?
The third one was the short film, The Mediocre Samaritan.
Oh, okay.
Which you can watch on YouTube, which is not a documentary.
You don't have to do that YouTube voice. I like it.
It's my YouTube voice.
I'm Jay Sekulow, and I'm here with Rudy Giuliani. Hold on.
Jay, we're here. We're not guilty.
We are guilty, even if we were guilty.
It wouldn't be against the law to be guilty.
Yes. If Trump killed somebody.
It wouldn't be against the law.
No,
there's no law. I don't see any books of life suspension.
No.
I don't see life suspension anywhere in the books.
Yeah, we ripped apart that Rudy Giuliani.
Mark Thompson wants to know, do either of you have guilty pleasures? Things you're afraid to admit you're a fan of?
Yeah. Would be the Real Housewives.
Yeah, and you're not afraid to admit it.
I am a little bit.
Go one level deeper.
I am a
snuff films.
Look, I enjoy watching. They're called magnifier films. A guy comes out with a magnifying glass, and he has the regular world that he says, "Check this out," and he magnifies it. It was very good.
You just lost me. I have no fucking idea what we're talking about.
Oh, movies.
Oh, guilty pleasures.
Yes.
Guilty pleasure. I'd say my biggest pop cultural guilty pleasure, and I don't feel any guilt about it, but I feel like it's inconsistent with my other taste, is The Voice. I watch The Voice.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I can accept that. I don't like any of those contest shows, but at least The Voice has a feeling of camaraderie sometimes.
It's an incredibly positive show.
Right. I like
and
that.
And I kind of like
too.
that about it.
Yeah.
It's encouraging to the talent. There's mentorship. There's actual things one can learn about the craft of singing watching it.
Yes. I know where you're going with it. I can't watch any of them. But if I was to watch The Voice still bothers me. Are they still not facing the singers?
That's just when they're picking the contestants at the beginning. That's just.
But that is the best of those. Best of its kind, as the New York Times would say.
Right. Randy Denton sent a picture of a shirtless young Andy Kindler with a young Judy Toll.
Really?
Yes.
Let me see it. Oh my God. Wow. Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
That's a great shot.
Ask Randy Denton, pod person. And he
Randy,
said,
that makes me
Andy,
almost
can
cry.
you tell us about Judy Toll?
Well, Judy Toll was like a kindred spirit to me. I felt like she was me, and I was her. We shared a sense of humor, and she was also the most unique person I've ever met. Where she did join Scientology, and then she did get her money back, and I do think there was a kind of a approach to life that she had that everything was a bit in a way that made it very funny.
Yeah,
and I miss her a lot. I saw her relatives. Gary, I saw her brother and her brother's wife recently.
And she passed away in what year?
She passed away...
About?
I want to say around the year 2000 or 2000... No, 2005.
Yeah.
2006. So, 'cause I remember now that...
and how long did you guys date?
We dated... we only had one date or something. But we were both kind of flirting with each other all the time.
Right.
And... But I think we were more like brother and sister kind of a thing. Well, that's the way I have sex. But such a sweetheart and so funny. She wrote the movie Casual Sex.
Oh, with Victoria Jackson.
Yeah, and Wendy Goldman.
Dice.
Yeah.
Ron Futterman says, why are you not more upset about Andy Borowitz, whose jokes are liked on Facebook by your aunt and everyone else you went to high school with?
I can't stand him. I also can't stand that he doesn't know that he thinks he's clever. That's probably the worst part of him.
Yeah. But I can't give him any sunlight. I can't.
You can't give him shade?
No, I can't. I can't shine any light on his stuff. Period.
Why, because you're friends?
No, because I fucking hate him.
Oh, yeah.
But I just don't think he's worth that. He's asking why aren't we more upset by him?
Oh.
Because he's inconsequential.
He is, and I have been upset in the past about him because he would do jokes. I can't stand political comics who think that it doesn't matter what side they're going against. That's just a lie.
Right.
It was a lie when Jon Stewart said you could go against Obama just as well as you could go against Bush. These are lies. Political comedy only works in the way that it's supposed to work. You're going against something or you're making a comment. Thank you.
Yes, he is the internet Mark Russell.
Yes.
Rick says, Andy's Philly show was lit. The Sherbet bit killed. Your Foster B was luminous. Josh, ever performed in Philly? You did Foster Brooks, you son of a bitch.
I don't think I did. How could I have done them?
I don't know.
I did Getting Cancer. I did that.
You did? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I never had a good show in Philadelphia, so this was incredible. 2 sold-out shows.
Josh ever performed in Philly? Yes, I have. I performed at the Trocadero.
For the Cinematic Titanic?
Yeah, and at the Keswick a few times.
I like that name. I like Philadelphia.
I like the Trocadero as a name.
Yeah.
Good club, too. It feels like a great old rock club. It feels like...
Why are you always lording over your big gigs?
Sorry, I'll just read the questions and you can answer them.
We have to go to a workshop to get a feud going. Trocadero.
Hey, Trocadero. Here's a picture of you from a still from you on Martin. Also from Randy Denton, pod person, who sent the picture of you and Judy Toll. How are you? Are you still dear friends with Martin Lawrence?
No. I mean, I'm not friends with him, but we never were friends. But I liked working on that show.
I think he was being ironic.
Oh. Is it the picture of me in the pet suits in the pet store?
Something like that, yeah.
I didn't know there was any shirtless pictures of me anywhere.
Well, there is after I'm dying up here.
Oh, I was very afraid. Yeah. I don't have to worry as much if it's from the 80s.
It's hard to see you that young, though, without sort of wondering what the fuck happened. Samuel E. Perez says, did Andy write the Bob's Burger joke about a Jewish-themed zombie movie sequel again with The Walking Dead?
I don't think so. Was that a line from the thing?
I don't know. Focus, Andy. You're looking at your fucking phone.
No, I was going to show you when I'm done with it. But that's still no excuse. Can you tell me, though, seriously, do you see a face?
See a face?
Yeah.
I guess.
It's not that impressive, right?
No, it's fucking insane. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, okay, I'm not. Well, when people find stuff in their nachos, does that ever impress you?
No.
Well, they always find the Virgin Mary.
And he just took a picture of a crumpled up piece of cardboard that apparently he saw a face in.
I still see the face, and I don't know.
Well, then turn it over.
No, I like it. I think it's an artistic breakthrough. But it is the first time that I actually started doing another task during the podcast.
Seth Dick III said, I missed sending a question last week, and I was wondering if you noticed and or cared.
Well, I remember when your questions are, but no, I can't lie and say that at the end of every question and answer period, I go, well, I hope Seth was in there.
I
No?
felt a massive Seth Dick III shaped void in the show last week. Callan Holder says, Andy, did you feel betrayed when your friend Mark Maron talked to Leno in the new garage? Pretty humanizing and solid talk. Not sure when you're recording next. So, blah, blah, blah.
People want me to somehow turn on Mark for interview. Why would it be? Why wouldn't he interview Leno?
I don't know. Maybe it was the 20 years of acting like Leno was your mortal enemy that people thought associate the two things.
Well, that would be like me interviewing him. I couldn't do it.
No, I don't think he'd agree to it.
That's true. Yeah. So, yeah. Did you listen to it?
I listened to some of it and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
But
I would actually...
I've heard all of his stories. I've heard all of his shtick. I know his attitude about everything. It's all a fake shrug.
Yeah, it's all
of, I'm still great fucking shrug.
I just do what I do. That's what I do. You do jokes.
The cops pick me up. They drive me around for 5 hours and I'd make them laugh. And then they drop me off in the morning so I wouldn't be a vagrant. I think we're kind of out of questions.
Was that an actual Leno anecdote?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was homeless, and he would, they think they'd be picking up vagrants.
I can't believe that's one of his stories. He's such a liar.
They pick me up at night, and they drive me around in the back of the car for several hours, and then, drop me off in the morning.
Oh, my God. That's from, not sign language, whatever it's called, leading with my chin. Well, I feel different than you feel.
Yeah.
I feel like we picked it up.
I got some more here, actually. Christy W. says, David Brenner's Tonight Show appearances were my childhood intro to stand-up. How is Brenner regarded in the Pantheon? I never hear him mentioned now, but he was omnipresent in the 70s. Yeah, people don't talk about him that much, I don't think, but he was one of the bridge guys between the old guys and new guys, for sure.
Yeah. And he was funny.
He was definitely funny. And at the time, I thought he was genuinely funny, but I think it was more because my parents thought he was really funny.
But he also could be arrogant, and you could see it in his act.
Yeah, absolutely. But he apparently was like, he had like his own money before he became a stand-up.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, he had been like a documentary producer, because there's a lot of money in that. But, he actually had real jobs.
Yes.
So while everyone else was struggling, he had an apartment on the Upper East Side, and and he was sort of above everyone in that regard.
He looks like he would be a good character on Love American Style.
He does,
but doesn't make me want to run back and see his stuff like Dangerfield.
No, I mean I see it on Carson shows every once in a while, and it doesn't hold up,
right?
Right. Because it's just an attitude, really.
This is weird.
Yeah.
You ever notice? This is weird?
Seth Dick III, now he comes back with this question. It's another Seth Dick series. Ray Combs or Louis Anderson?
Well, that's one guy committed suicide. Were you going to compare him?
I go with Louis.
Well, the other
Survey
guy-
says.
The other guy is dead, and Louis, I don't remember him doing the show.
You don't remember Louis doing it? That's incredible.
The only person I like doing
Out of
it,
100 people surveyed, what's the best kind of fudge? Survey says.
I love those. Keep remaking game shows. It's the best.
Absolutely. Botany 500 or Johnny Carson suits? Botany 500.
I don't know the difference. One is a.
Then we're moving on. Sled or toboggan? Sled. Toboggans, you can fucking kill yourself.
Yeah. I'm not an idiot.
Dancing bear or steal your face? Dancing bear.
What does steal your face mean?
I don't care. I'm moving through it.
Steal your face right off your head.
Hairspray or mousse? I preferred mousse when I used either.
I prefer the movie Hairspray.
When I had hair. Fun size or regular size? Regular size.
Regular size. I've been buying. I'm trying to wean myself off of it, Josh. But I got into this candy jag, and it's Nowheresville.
Yeah.
Like Starburst. I love it.
Yeah.
I buy the share size. But then I feel like it's not doing what it should be doing. It's not providing fruit.
Share size, that's like
Double.
For gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
I always will sign off on that kind of comedy. If nobody else laughs at that, call me assisted living. I'll laugh at it.
Okay.
Do you think Sonny Bono would have liked Trump? No.
Do I think Sonny Bono would have liked Trump? I think he would have liked Trump up until he was president.
Yeah.
Like they would have been at the same golf tournaments and shit.
Right. She's a lowlife. A loser.
Andy, have you seen Twin Peaks? Asked Jacob Jackman.
I saw the original series. Did not see the remake. Wait, was Twin Peaks a movie? No, it was a series.
It was a series.
And then they made a movie.
The Fire Walk with Me or something.
Have you seen the remake? I have not.
I have not either. I didn't like the original.
Oh, at all.
Not really. I never got it. Couldn't get on board.
I love that Julie Cruz music. Oh, no, back of my heart. I did like him.
And finally tonight, Evan Jordan says, finally tonight, Evan Jordan, here's something.
Here's something in the news.
Evan Jordan says, who are your favorite visual artists? Aside from graphic novels, comics, as previously discussed. Any time period, location. That's fine. Thanks.
What is he asking? Do we like artists?
Your favorite visual artists?
Does that mean a painter?
Yes. Or a drawer.
I really love Miro.
Yeah.
I love, oh God, I'm such a hack. All the hacky things. Van Gogh.
Yeah.
And I like Thomas Kincaid, because he's the master of light.
I was always pretty struck by Chuck Close.
Yeah, he's great.
I always loved Jenny Holzer's stuff.
I don't know what that is even.
She does various things with words essentially. Like she'll chisel them in stone and benches, or she'll run them by on crawls. It's all cool. You've seen her stuff before in various ways, I'm sure.
I like Diebenkorn.
I always liked Magritte.
Yes. Some of his contemporaries didn't think he was so great.
Ceci n'est pas un joke.
And they say we can't keep it going for 2.5 hours.
Exactly. So I think that's our show for the night.
Well, first of all, this was one of my favorite shows, and I've edited a lot of them, and I think of them as my babies. Come up with a joke next week.
Okay.
Crib death.
That's not abortion. Yeah.
How funny is crib death these days?
Let me ask my friend Sid. If you want to get a hold of us,
write to us
at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. Go check out our merch at Zazzle.com. Enter Thought Spiral and look at our stuff.
And look at Lucky must know that the timing is right, because Lucky, has come over to
Lucky
me.
has wandered back into the room for the close off.
Yeah, and I really feel very needy around Lucky.
Yeah.
But you have to admit, at this point, there's no other human except for you and Allison who Lucky is such. What's my game here? To eventually get the dog to say he loves me? I love you.
So that's our show.
That's it. Also, I need you to kill.
Yeah. I Need You to Kill is streaming on Amazon and available other ways.
I'll be in London at the Soho Theatre September 6th through the 15th. I'm giving you early notice on it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice job.
It's like a whole, get your tickets now, I say. Piers Morgan.
Are you gonna go to? Are you gonna do some touristing?
I would like to do some touristing. Yes.
Go to Westminster Abbey.
Okay.
It's worth it just to walk through and see.
I don't know if I've been there before.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth a walk through.
I will do that.
And go to iTunes for us and rate us and review us. We'd appreciate that. And have yourselves a great week. Huh?
That was a very sincere close.
Yeah, it really was.
Great.
Let me see if I can do it even more sincere.
Have a good week.
Even more sincere.